up. I had an epidural. And, you know, my husband, we were continuing laughing and talking and, you know, and doing what we were doing. And doctor comes in, checks me. He's like, oh, and I'm going to say this is around 9:45. He comes in and he checks me. And he was like, you are, let me say 9:30. About 9:30, he comes in and checks me. He's like, you're 7 centimeters. I was like, wow. Oh, good grief, that happened quick. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna go. He was like, this is like transitional. He was like, around 7 centimeters. It'd take another, you know, 3, 4, 5 hours. You never know. And I was like, okay, you know, I was there for the long haul. I was comfortable, you know. So he goes out and nurse comes in, and sometimes they like to lay you on your left side. So it's supposed to sort of, I guess, give the baby more oxygen, help you along, that sort of thing. She comes in and she's like, I'd like to turn you on your left side. I was like, fine. Turned on the left side, and we're still watching movies. Literally, this is my story. It was ridiculous. So anyway, at about 15 minutes later, so at about 9:45, I look at my husband and I said, I feel like I have to push. And he's like, seriously? He was like, he just left like 15 minutes ago. You sure you have to push? And I was like, yeah. I was like, this is weird. I feel like I have to push. I was like, maybe it's because I'm laying on my left side. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's just doing something funky, but I feel like I have to push. So he goes out the hallway and he flags down the nurse. The nurse comes in, checks me. I'm at 10 centimeters. I went from 7 centimeters to 10 centimeters in a matter of 15 minutes. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if it was because she laid me on my left side. I don't know if it was just because it was just nature and it was just time. I don't know. It was weird. Nurse goes down the hall, grabs my doctor, comes back in, and the doctor said, this is really quite strange. And he's like, I've never seen anything like it. He's like, wow, okay, well, we're going to break down the bed and you're going to start pushing. And something in me told me, like, this is going to go fairly quickly, Nikki. Just let you know, this is my brain talking to me. He's like, this is going to go fast for you. And I was like, okay. He was like, my mom at the point, she wanted to be there. And I was like, my mom told me to call when I got close. And I was like, fine. I called my mom and my mother was like, I haven't even left the house yet. She was like, okay, I'm on my way. And she didn't live too far from the hospital. But so she hopped in the car. She was like, you know, I'm on my way. Be there as quick as I can. It's like, fine. The doctor comes back in and he's ready to go. He's all suited up. And I looked at him and I said, can I wait a little bit until my mom can get here? And he looked at me. He was like, really? Seriously? I was like, yeah. It's like, is it unsafe for me to not push? He was like, I could probably let you do that for a little bit. And I was like, fine, great. So he comes back and about 10 minutes later and he's like, Nicole, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to deliver this baby. He's like, he's looking at me like I'm some type of anomaly, like I'm just like the weirdest person. And I was like, okay, fine. The nurses at the time came in and said, we have a couple of student nurses here who would like to witness a birth. Do you mind them coming in and witnessing your birth? And I was like, I have no problems with that, because I'm just the kind of person who just feels like the more education people have, the better. It makes them better. You know, this is going to be their profession one day. Yes, definitely come in and witness my birth. And so the two came in and they sort of kind of stayed back, and you know, and the doctor told me to push. And I looked and I was like, okay. I pushed one time. And the doctor said, whoa, wait. And I was like, okay. And then they typically at one point tell you to wait once so that they can make sure that there's no babies, you know, the umbilical cord's not wrapped around the neck, that sort of kind of thing. And he was like, okay, one more push. I had the baby out in 2 pushes in the first contraction. At that point, the baby cries. And I remember my mother telling me that she was right in the hallway walking down to my room and she hears the baby cry. So she didn't quite get there to the point, you know, at that, you know, the time that the baby came out, but she was in the hallway. And I remember the student nurses saying, are all births like this? You know, And I looked at him, I said, no, nowhere near. As like, and you probably want to go see someone else deliver, because this probably wasn't a really good example of how normal deliveries go. So anyway, and they all laughed and chuckled, and literally it was the easiest. And I don't know if it was because it was my third. I don't know if it was because I already knew what to expect. I don't know why he was so easy, but from pregnancy through to the till him coming into the world, he was absolutely lovely. It was no problems. Of course, I didn't experience the pain because I had an epidural, but my first child, I know exactly what it feels like to go without one. So I had, both experiences to fall back on. And so that is the story of my third and final child coming into this world. Ethan's lovely. He is an 8th grader now, and completely wonderful. So yeah, thanks for listening to me, and I hope what I've said helps, and I want everyone to take care.